Now recording.
Okay. So, all right. So we missed a little bit of the recorded part, but that's okay. Others tell the story with greater distance, such as Lambkin. So I had to go look up Lambkin. Lambkin has origins in the 15th century. This is probably the oldest murder ballad that they can find. And there's considerable support for the view that the ballad is based on an actual historical incident. The name Lambkin probably derives from this man called Lambert Lincoln, who was a mason. So supposedly this stone mason builds a castle for a lord who refuses to pay for the work. Of course, my insert joke here, I didn't even know Donald Trump was that old. Yeah. Okay. So the mason gets his revenge by killing the lord's wife and child. And for this crime, the mason and a nursemaid who let him into the castle are executed. So that's Lambkin, which records the details of the crime and the punishment without any attempts to arouse sympathy for the criminal. And then the fourth one is supernatural revenge, wrought by the victim upon the murderer, sometimes figures in murder ballads such as the Twa Sisters, TWA. So I had to go look up Twa Sisters. I went down that rabbit hole. I'll tell you more about that later. Um, then there's murder. There's some songs that you think are murder ballads, but they're not because they're a different genre called dying verses, and those were intended for reading rather than singing, and that was a New England tradition in the 18th century. I didn't know any of this stuff. Um, Murder ballads make up a notable portion of traditional ballads, many of which originated in Scandinavia, England, and Scotland. In those, while the murder is committed, the murderer usually suffers justice at the hands of the victim's family, even if the victim and murderer are related. That goes back to the two sisters, the Twa sisters. Many American murder ballads are modified versions of Old World ballads with any elements of supernatural retribution removed and the focus transferred to the slaughter of the innocent. This is such gory stuff. For example, the English ballad The Gosport Tragedy of the 1750s had both murder and revenge on the murderer by ghosts of the murdered woman and her unborn baby, who call up a great storm to prevent his ship sailing before tearing him apart. In contrast, the Kentucky version, Pretty Polly, everybody's heard that song, right? Pretty Polly? Is a stark and blood soaked murder ballad with the victim being betrayed by the man she loves, stabbed in the heart, and buried in a shallow grave. And the epilogue describes the killer being hanged by the community and his soul burning in hell and a debt to the devil, also in a few versions. So oh wait, there's another one. Ukrainian folklore tradition. It's not as distinct, though there are a few folk songs that definitely stand out. One of them is this one from the 18th century. I can't pronounce it, but translated it means "Don't go to the party." And that was written by the semi-legendary poet and singer Marussia. And in the song, a girl named Hannah is in love with this Cossack named Greg, and she warns him not to go to the parties in fear of him being seduced by bewitching girls. But he didn't listen, and he fell in love with another girl, and Hannah brewed a poison, poured it to him at supper, and when he was buried, she went to his grave and told him why she did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, okay. So then the Twa sisters here. The two sisters, or it's also called Binnorie, Binnorie. It's a traditional murder ballad dating as far back as the mid 17th century, so 1600s here. Um, Another article. The sisters go down to a body of water. Sometimes it's a river, sometimes it's the sea. And the older one pushes the younger one in and refuses to pull her out. And generally, the lyrics explicitly state her intent to drown her younger sister. Lots of different motives, but the best one, I guess, is the sexual jealousy. In some variants, the sisters are being two-timed by a suitor. In others, the elder sister's affections are not encouraged by the young man. In a few of them, there's a third sister, but she doesn't really play a significant role. But in most versions, the older sister is described as dark and the younger sister is fair. So the dark, you know, overcomes the light. When the murdered girl's body floats ashore, someone makes a musical instrument out of it, generally a harp or a fiddle, with a frame of bone and the girl's long yellow hair for strings. And then the instrument plays itself and sings about the murder. In some versions, this occurs after the musician has taken it to the family's household so that the elder sister is publicly revealed by the instrument as the murderess. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's wild.
Yeah, the variant titled The Two Sisters typically omits the haunted instrument entirely, ending instead with an unrelated person, often a miller, who robs the girl's corpse, sometimes being executed for it, and the elder sister sometimes goes unpunished or sometimes is boiled in lead.
Like you do. You know, it's like, you know.
Killing people. So that song was first appeared on a broadside, those publications, in 1656, and it was called The Miller and the King's Daughter. Oh, let's see. I think that might be it for that one. All right. There's a Norse variant of the song where the older sister is depicted as dark and the younger sister is fair, often with great contrast, comparing the former to soot and the other to sun or milk. And this can inspire taunts from the younger about the older's look. So it's this thing about good, evil, dark, light, sooty, white. In some variants, the story ends with the instrument being broken and the younger sister returning to life. In a few, she was not actually drowned, but saved and nursed back to health, and she tells the story herself. So anyway, all of this must have been, oh wait, there's one more. In Polish literature, 1838, two sisters engage in a raspberry gathering contest to decide which of them gets to marry Prince Kirkor. When the younger Alina wins, the older Baladina kills her. Finally, she's killed by a bolt of lightning in an act of divine retribution. So anyway, all this stuff must have been floating around in my head somehow because I ended up writing a murder ballad that contains a lot of these themes, and I wasn't aware of it.
Oh, that's good. I was worried you were going to say, you know, it all did because I murdered my sister. Just saying.
No, I love my sister. I would
Oh,
never
that's
murder
good.
my
Good. Yeah,
sister.
no murdering sisters.
No, I don't have any violent tendencies, but somehow I got into this murder ballad thing. And, it's a two-part. So back in 2007, Rich and his teenage sons decided to partake in this RPM thing. It's called a Record Production Month Challenge. It's not, you sign up and you write and you record, you make an album of songs in the month of February. It's not a contest or anything, it's just a challenge. So they wrote 10 songs, quickly. And track number 3 was this one that I'm going to do called Green Are the Fields. So 17 years later, I can't even remember why, but we resurrected it and he added 2 new verses. And then, I think he did it at an open mic and we're like, this needs a bookend from the victim's point of view. So then I tried to write this second song, the Ruby Dagger, and it was kind of difficult because you have this information from the first one and then 2 new added verses and you're trying to do like the backstory and a continuing story. It was very interesting to do. So he's not here to do it, so I'll just recite it. It's called Green Are the Fields. It's got it's not really a ballad, this one, but it has like a little twist on it. So it's green are the fields where my true love died, taken away in the spring. Long have I thought, were she not by my side, ne'er would she have felt death's cold, dark sting. I met her one morning down at the town square. Desire was strong that I felt. Her eyes were blue gems set in flowing red hair. A ruby dagger was tucked in her belt. We married thereafter, a festive affair. Enamored was I by her charms. Next day we departed with nary a care, unaware of the impending harms. The day was as bright and as cold as a stream cascading down from the hill. The vastness of solitude swallowed her scream, and my love in my arms fell still. Now brown are the fields where my true love died. Long has it been since that spring, and cold was the room where justly I was tried. For today from the gallows rope I'll swing. So you get it
Yeah.
there? Yeah, there's like a twist. You don't know that he killed her till the end. And then he added that thing about a ruby dagger was tucked in her belt. So we started to surmise things like he had killed her for the money, he had married her for the money, and then killed her thereafter for her ruby dagger and all the other things that she had. So then I wrote this little sad song called "The Ruby Dagger." Strolling the green fields in tandem, I thought we were wedded in bliss. I in my jewels, and he so handsome. We stopped by a clear stream to kiss. But he took my ruby handled blade amid a kiss as sweet as a dream. Plunged it in my breast, I was slayed. My last breath a useless scream. It seemed he would pay the final price. He'd hang, his earthly days would cease. He'd have no heavenly paradise, and I at last could rest in peace. But the judge burst into his jail cell. He's innocent, he loudly exclaimed. 'Twas a bribe, an all too common tale. With a handful of gold he was paid. There's an instrumental. Oh, I'll cut that short. I watch him from a gray, dreary sky as he walks the field so carefree. I hover, a vapor that cannot die. I hover, a vapor that cannot die. And vengeful as a ghost could ever be, I will righteously justice impart and kill him for love, you understand. The ruby dagger pierces his false heart, yet it appears as if by his own hand. Yet it appears as if by his own hand. Kind of leaves you hanging.
Oh, that's
There you
cool.
go. Does that make sense to people what happened? I'm curious to know if the plot is being followed here.
I don't know. I'm mixed about. I mean, I get it about him killing her, and she, there she is, dead. But the rest, no.
Okay, so then now this ruby dagger is from the ghost's point of view, and it goes back, says, I thought we were wedded in bliss. I
Right,
I had my jewels. He was so handsome. We were happy, but right in the middle of a really good kiss, as sweet as a dream, he took the handle. I mean, he took the ruby handled blade and he plunged it into my breast, and I died. And
right. I
nobody
got
could
that
hear
part.
because he had said in the beginning one that The vastness of solitude swallowed her scream. So I said my last breath was a useless scream. And then he was tried, like he knew he was going to be hanging from the gallows rope soon. He was tried and convicted, but he bribed the judge, and the judge came into the jail cell before he was murdered and said he's
Oh, okay.
innocent because he was paid off with a handful of gold. So now she's still watching him from the sky, and he's just carrying on life carefree, and she can't fully die because she's revengeful and this thing is not resolved. So she makes the ruby dagger plunge into his breast. She did it as a ghost, but it made it look like he did it himself.
Oh, that was good. Good one. Okay. Okay, that's good. Thanks. Thanks for that explanation.
I know it's weird, but that's where we
No,
went.
no, 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 no. It's in songs. Anything can do anything. You're allowed in songs.
Yep, and I'm following this thing that started in the 1400s. There's another one, Murder Ballad number 5422.
Nick Cave did a whole album of murder ballads.
I know.
Good.
All right, that's it, folks. That was at the corner.
Yay! Thanks, Jerry Lynn. Well, this was fun. What did you call that one? What was the first one called? What was the first one?
First
Was
one's called Green Are the Fields, Where My True Love Died.
right. And what's the second one called?
The second one is the Ruby Dagger.
Ruby Dagger.
And we introduced the dagger in that was one of the new verses, so we could get to why he killed her. I mean, it doesn't have to be a murder mystery. I mean, a murder ballad, but it was just fun collaborating with somebody you don't really know what's in their head
Yeah.
until you have to just question everything. Like, well, did this happen first, or did that happen first, or what's this mean? And it was just really good experience.
You and Rich had a good time putting that together, didn't you?
We did. We did.
Nice. It's really good. So we say it again. Green are the fields
And the Ruby
where I
Day,
died.
huh?
Green,
Green are
green
the
are the
fields.
fields.
Well, it's the first line. Green are the fields where my true love died, taken away in the spring. Long have I thought, were she not by my side, she never would have felt death's cold, dark sting. Yeah, of course not, because he killed her.
Yeah, because he killed her. Yeah, that bastard. Betty, good thing that you didn't have that kind of marriage. Just saying.
Well, next song, if we write another one,
You're
it'll
right.
be a peppier, happier one.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like though from both sides of the coin. I think that's really awesome.
If somebody in the audience at the theater said, "I like your version better," where she gets him back.
That was
But now
really
that I
fun.
know that it's not being followed, so that that's not good. That people can't follow the plot.
Well, except that as a song, it definitely holds its own, and who cares if you follow the plot?
Or maybe it's like you have to listen to a couple times before you get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, it makes sense within our little bubble, but you never know if it's
yeah.
out there
Well,
correctly.
this was really fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm glad
I'm
we did
glad
this.
we could do it.
We'll see you all next week.
Okay.
Y'all, as in
Peace.
Betty and Jerry Lynn, maybe Dawn.
Oh,
It's
How'd
look
great
you
at
to
do
see
that?
you. Oh,
names.
there you go. Betty, you're
How'd you
good.
do that?
You did that.
I didn't do
You,
a thing.
you hit something.
I didn't hit anything. I got my hands right here. But that was
Magic.
cool.
Hold on.
Are
Wait.
you hovering over something?
Video.
Pardon?
Are you hovering over a key or something?
No. That's cool.
Wow.
Where is it?
Balloons
For no
Yeah,
reason.
for no reason. Hey, hey, hey.
Wherever you are, it's a party.
I'll take it.
Alrighty. All right.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you, Dawn. Can you hear me? You're muted. You're muted.
I don't know how'd you do that.
Yeah, okay, I'm unmuting.
You're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, too fun. I had to feed my birds outside and it is freezing out there. What happened to spring? Oh,
Coming soon.
I hope
Oh,
so.
here it is.
Oh,
Oh no, that's not it. Oh yeah, there you go, Jerry Lynn. How did you do that? That's pretty good.
I didn't do it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It had to come from you. John doesn't have the capability to do that.
Girl, I was just sitting here. I just, if has everybody gotten your eclipse glasses?
Oh, how do you get those? I need those.
We got them through Walmart online, but they probably
Oh,
have them in the store too.
Well, you're going to be able to
okay.
see it. I'm not sure we're getting a good view.
I don't know, but gonna give it a try.
I have to go to Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana is where the center of it is.
No, it's a whole swath that goes diagonally across the country.
Yeah, it does. It makes a big X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The closest I am, I think, is Vermont. I could go to Vermont, but
Field
it's on
trip.
a Monday. It's like it's an awful day. I mean, in
Mhm.
terms of
Thursday.
scheduling, I'm going to be indoors teaching. So
What day is that supposed to happen?
Monday the 8th.
No, wait a minute. I have it on Thursday the 4th.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hey Echo, when is the solar eclipse?
John, this is what I found. A total solar eclipse will cross North America all day on April 8th.
April 8th.
April
Oh,
8th.
how did I
John,
get the
this is
Okay.
what
4th?
I found. A total
Oh,
solar
you would have
eclipse.
had those glasses for
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, I don't know what time, which is important.
We don't know what time.
Probably find that out.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody.
You're welcome.